Hello and welcome to Furryearsworld, where we are back in Project Ozone 2 land, and over here in our Pneumatic Wrench house we are building up pressure nicely now. Look at that, up to 12.5 bar. As soon as this hits 17, 18, 17.8 to 18, 17.9 to 18 bar, I can't remember exactly what I put in, it will send out a redstone signal which will hopefully trip the repeater and shut down the two compressors. Otherwise all this is going to blow up. Over here we have put in allocation for a pair of the Vortex manipulators, or whatever they're called, Vortex tubes, which are going to go here, and they're running on the high pressure. They're running, well, when that's connected, this will all be at whatever pressure this is, and it's going to be around 18 bar. This pipe here is where the charging station is going to be. That's going to be running at 18 bar. This hole here is where the pressure chamber is going to sit. I'm going to have a 2x2 internal space in it, so we're going to bring the pipe up here, but we need to regulate that pressure before we can hook it up. So we need to get some sort of pressure restriction on that, because the pressure chamber can only work at 5 bar. It's not the only reduced pressure zone we're going to need. We're going to need additional reduced pressure zones, so we might be doing some shenanigans underneath with the pressure control valves, but we'll see what we can do about that. It might be a bit complicated because we might have to shift click things, and that's not easy when you're flying. The flight kind of doesn't work with the shift clicking. So we need to think about moving the refinery and making some of those vortex tubes. I think they're the primary one we're going to go for. At PNU we want these jobbies. We want 2 of these. Bop. 1, 2. Excellent. That's what we wanted. That's perfect. And probably also going to want a block of compressed iron and the rest of those heat sinks, because I suspect this thing is gonna need to absorb, not dissipate, absorb heat. So we want vortex tubes in here. That's not exactly helpful. That's not what we had in mind, but that seems to be the hot side, that seems to be the cold side. So we need to rotate that, and I believe there's a pneumatic wrench type thing in this that is used for such shenanigans. Shout out if you see it, because I don't. This is it. Pneumatic wrench. So we need orange dye, air canister, shouldn't be too much of a okay, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I believe this will rotate the objects for us. I don't believe, I'm guessing. Dye? We've only got yellow. We don't have orange dye. Do we have orange, mystical yellow? Mystical orange, that's what we want. And we will get the petals out of that, and we will munch that, is what we'll do. We will munch that with a mortar and pestle. So we'll get that, get that, get that. That's good enough for me. Excellent work. So we've got the mortar and pestle. We want the at PNU. We want the doing of the machinery. This thing. Logistics. No, I don't want that. I want this. That. So we need one of them. Easily done. And we want one of them. Got it. Now we need to, I'm guessing, charge this up at the charging station, which we've got over here. It's not going to give us vast quantities of charge, but it'll give us enough. We'll take that off, pop that on. That's going to shove some air in there for us. Our pressure should now drop, and this thing should turn on. Thing's already turned on, actually. I'm not sure how much is a good level of pressure to keep in this thing, but we are probably going to shove 20 or whatever our high pressure settles down at into this and see how that works. It's at 2 bar now, so that's not too shabby. We're going to go with 2 bar for starters. Pop him back there and see if this will rotate our vortex tubes like I think it's supposed to. This is getting up there, isn't it? 16 bar. Okay. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Kind of want it rotating the other way. It didn't seem to really want to do that, did it? There we go. That's what we want. But we need it like that. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So it's the hot end up and the cold end down. Well, they're a fiddly faff to turn around, aren't they? And we'll stick the other one in. Hot end up, cold end down. So we want to go rotate. And then rotate. No. Hot end up, cold end down. Connect to the pipe. There we go. Hot end up, cold end down. And then we'll have our block of magic-y stuff underneath. Like so. That is now at 22 degrees, but that's presumably going to get a lot cooler. And we're going to heat sink it. We're going to try and heat sink it. The heat sinks... I don't know whether the heat sinks are derpy or not, or whether it's just me. It could just be me, you know. And hopefully that will be able to absorb temperature. That should go bugger me cold as soon as we hit pressure on that. But it's not the first priority. This is now at 17.4, so we're getting close to the threshold now where it's going to turn itself off. So this should theoretically produce vast quantities of heat on this point here, and that will... 17.5, getting close. That will turn off the refinery. So we can go and grab the refinery and stack that up on top of it. Might put this fire out, just to be on the safe side. Because working around a raging fire, not always a good plan. I mean, it's done a good job for us. Don't get me wrong. I've been well pleased with the performance of my Tower of Burning Death stupidity. Get rid of those. Get rid of that, and then we'll take these out. Excellent. That's all gone. It's got an even nicer open space here when all this junk's moved out of the way. I'll probably fill it with something else completely stupidly, but you know. Ah! We reached 17.9. We emitted a redstone signal. We turned the things off. I'm guessing we've turned them off. I'm guessing everything's off now. So that seems to work. So I'm content with that. This is my content face. I am content with the outcomes that we are experiencing there. This could be difficult. Eep and eep. Is that all looking good? That's all looking good. The refinery is back in business. Piping this all out should be more straightforward now because we don't have towers of fire around the whole shooting match. So we have the pressure that we want in this place. That's all hooked up. This side of things is all hooked up now. So we could just pressurize the vortex tube if we wanted to. Let's go and see if we can do that, shall we? We can do that by breaking this pipe here. Like that. I don't think we got that one back, but I don't really mind that much. Oh no, that pipe here. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? We got that one back. That's okay. So that all this pipe does is connect to the vortex tube. That's all it does. So that should now zoom up the vortex tube and hopefully not blow it up. Let's give it some power and see what happens. There we go. Top temperature is going up. It's reached 100 and... Things are getting a little bit spicy. The thing down at the bottom, the compressed iron down at the bottom is now -6, -7, going bluer all the time. Temperature in this thing is 200 odd degrees. So this is much better than we had it previously. Things are kind of spicy here. I'm not sure how hot it's going to get. it certainly seems reasonably content with the temperature it's providing me. Hopefully it won't melt. That would be bad. It's pretty much done for our pressure. Are we winning or losing on the pressure battle here? Hopefully we're winning. I don't want to lose the pressure battle. That would be badness. 6.7. We are losing the pressure battle a little bit. These are both on, aren't they? Got power. There seems to be a small deficiency here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. We could try breaking out. Efficiency on this is good. Problems, no problems. Pressure. Do we get information on this? Yeah, I mean it's 40% efficient. Volume upgrades adds 1 litre more air capacity for each upgrade inserted, so we could put some volume upgrades. But it seems to be doing its job. It's just not coping terribly well with what we're applying to it, these vortex tubes. I'm guessing when this reaches a stable temperature, which it's not doing, it's now dropping in temperature, because it had high pressure, now it's got low pressure. I think everything just needs to settle down and stabilize. We'll see. We'll see. We are still losing air pressure, despite the fact that these things are going like mad nuts to make air pressure. Yeah, pressure is dropping, and all we've done is attach these things. I don't think we've got a break in the pipe anywhere. Let me check. This ferocious pressure drop does feel like a break in a pipe. There's no break in the pipe. Yeah, that's warmed up again. Yeah, so clearly we've not managed something right here. Maybe these need to get a little bit warmer than they are. I mean, they're holding at 24 degrees. I don't think that's too bad. We're certainly going to be below 5 bar, and that's appalling. We want this to be way higher than that. Yeah, the vortex tube is disappointing me. Maybe we only need the one of them then. Well, that's going to make a mess of things if I have to move it around, so we only need one of them. But anyway, it's doing a job. It's doing something, and something is good. So next we need to think about limiting the pressure in the pipes so that we don't blow something up like the pressure chamber, and that is done with, as I thought it was, with one of these regulator tube modules. So we should be able to knock one of them out, hopefully. At PNEU Pneumatic Craft. There's so many questions in Pneumatic Craft I just don't know the answer to. Can we make 2 of them? We can make 2 of them. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you, game. And we will have one of those. We will also have another one of... Where are they? These. Because, again, that will give us the GUI that we need to actually get this thing to work properly. So if we pop him... there. Like so. Then we can right-click that on there. Shift right-click. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Is that right? Advanced PCB, yeah. It doesn't seem to want to... Oh, there we go. It's gone on now. So if we click on it now, we get this. And the threshold we want is We don't really care about what it's outputting as a redstone signal, but we want it to be 4.5 bar, and that's what we want it to restrict to. Threshold is 4.5, so nothing this side of this will be above 4.5 bar. So then we can use ordinary pipes to just hook up to the pressure chamber, and Bob's your uncle, we have a low pressure system and a high pressure system. Although our high pressure system is now fundamentally a low pressure system because we kind of broke it a little bit. Tube B. How many of these tubes have we got left? 45. Let's take half of them and go and put some down that hole in there. And we'll nearly have cleared our pneumatic raft stuff. Okay. That's what I wanted. There we go. Sending 4.5 bar up there. We will also have to send 4.5 bar slightly further afield because we need 4.5 bar to process the dyes into plastics and things. So that can take place probably over in this corner. So we kind of need a riser for 4.5 bar. This thing is going to be occupying that square, that square, that square, then this gap. So if we bring up our pressure pipes here, we can have low pressure here. That seems reasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't know what you think. Do you agree? Do you concur? So we'll bring our low pressure over this way, like so. Job's a good one. Let's go see what this thing's doing now. Pressure's gone completely. Need to have a think about why the pressure's gone completely. But we're making some progress. This is now doing a job of work. So from Furryearsworld, I'm just going to take the coolers off the sides of those. For now, heat. This produces heat. Okay. There are no problems. I'm assuming it's active. It's still just dropping pressure. I'm just going to go with any signal. And it's still just dropping pressure. Interesting. Low signal required. Interesting that it can't cope with this. We could take out that top pipe. Like that. See what that does. Has that fixed the problem? Is it now going upwards? It's now going up again. It's a bit sort of stilted. I would not have thought it would have made that much difference, but apparently it does. And this one's kind of backwards a bit, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. So, from Furryearsworld for now, where things are kind of complicated but okay, we're going to go with a cheery old ta-ta.